Who knows, maybe Islam will hold it a couple of times and then he'll become the coach and somebody else from Dagestan will get the belt. But the stable of fighters there is truly remarkable. And what I think is probably going to happen is what you said. What's up, Barnhill family, and welcome back to your home for all things combat sports.
Yo.
So, Nick, it looks like Khabib may be leaving us for a second time now. We saw him retire from fighting after defeating Justin Gaethje shortly after his father passed, and then we saw him assume his father's role as the head coach, and now it looks like he's going to take a step back from that as well. Reason being, he's got a young family. He wants to spend more time with them. He's given about 3 decades of himself to the sport of mixed martial arts and martial arts in general, and he said, look, I'm only going to be a father of young children once, and I kind of commend him for this.
Yeah, I think it's a good move for Khabib. And, you know, he's a young guy still, so he could probably see his children grow up and then maybe they'll become fighters themselves, and then he can jump back into a coaching role. And then he could have another 20-year career as a coach, and he'd only be, 50 years old by the time he starts that, which is a normal age for a coach. I think when you see Khabib retire and you thought, okay, he's just going to ride off into the sunset, be like everybody else, got a big pocket full of money, and now I'm going to go sort of just get out of the limelight. That is not the direction that he went. He sort of got busier. It almost looks like he's traveling more now. He's got a ton of fighters that rely on him as their coach and their mentor, who he's been cornering, and he's been holding up his end of the bargain to help them get into the UFC and achieve their own goals. And I don't think there's any chance that Khabib is not going to be in a lot of practice rooms in Dagestan and still helping a ton of people. He just won't have to do it with quite the crazy travel schedule and being all over America at all times. You see him, he's jumping from Miami covering Eagle FC, and then the next week he's at Bellator, and then the week after that he's doing something for a title fight in the UFC. So I think it's nice for him. He probably deserves the break. He probably needs the break. And I think going and raising your family, focusing on your family is the right move for him.
Of course. And family is more important than anything after all. And Khabib, as a devout Muslim, he certainly understands that family comes before all. We saw the relationship that he had with his father, and it was truly remarkable actually to see. It was very much a breath of fresh air in the MMA world. But like you said, he could take 10, 15 years off from coaching, see his children grow up, and then get right back into it and be a pretty young coach still. But even if he doesn't do that, his legacy's cemented. I mean, undefeated MMA career. He then turned around and started helping his stable, got Islam the belt almost immediately as soon as he retired and conceded the belt. It kind of was almost a game of hot potato there for a second until Islam grabbed it. And now it looks like if he gets past Volkanovski, he's probably going to hold that belt for quite some time, or as long as he wants to. Who knows? Maybe Islam will hold it a couple of times and then he'll become the coach and somebody else from Dagestan will get the belt. But the stable of fighters there is truly remarkable. And what I think is probably going to happen is what you said. He's probably going to take an informal role. He's a fighter at heart, right? He can't be in Dagestan all the time knowing that all these great training sessions are going on and not pop his head in every now and then. But I think the less formal role is what he's looking for. Like you said, he got busier when he retired from fighting, and that almost never happens. You see a lot of fighters get fat and happy. That was not the case with Khabib. He did put on a few extra pounds, but he was certainly working his butt off during that time period.
Yeah, for sure. And his whole family is in Dagestan, so it makes sense for him to go back there. And I get it. The AKA team needs him to be there. But I think a lot of those guys that came from Dagestan with the help of Khabib and his father will likely go back to Dagestan, and they'll kind of run an AKA Dagestan location. And they'll sort of take all the lessons that they learned from Javier Mendez and bring them over and implement them. And I would just have to assume, given by the history of Dagestan, that there's a ton of up-and-coming talent in Dagestan that he would love to get involved with, and he can probably help them achieve their goals of getting into the UFC or becoming the type of fighter that they want to become. And I think all the Nurmagomedovs, the Magomedovs, and the other fighters that are kind of on the team Khabib will likely go back, and they'll be in the training room with him all the time. An interview came out a couple months ago, and he said he's still sparring a couple days a week. He's in there every day. And if you've seen the videos of like Islam and some of the other fighters at AKA, they're walking up to the cameraman being like, please just send Khabib back home. He's killing us in the classroom. He's killing us in the training room. So I think he still has that coach fire in him, but he needs to do it from the comfort of his home. He needs to do it with his family so he can keep an eye on the family that he's created and also help his fight family that he is building and has turned into quite a successful team.
No doubt. Thanks for watching this video, guys. We're your hub for all things combat sports. If that's your jam, we appreciate a subscribe and a like on the video, and drop us a comment down below. We'll see you next time.
Peace.